The Women's March had barely begun when the police started making their first arrests. Over the past weeks, Belarus has ramped up its crackdown on protesters. But despite it all, these women come back each Saturday to make sure their voice is heard.
Everything was quiet. Then suddenly those henchmen showed up and dragged these young women into their buses. What did they ever do to them? We're not scared for our own safety. We're worried about our children and grandchildren. We want them to live in a normal country without this kind of police.
Alla and Sofia are outraged and try reasoning with the police. This time, they can't get any of the women released. But Alla says she and her friend Sofia, both retired school teachers, do command a certain respect with the officers. The two women first met at a protest against Lukashenko. The authoritarian has been bringing the country up against him. More and more Belarusians are expressing solidarity with these courageous women. Their bravery has inspired others to overcome their fears and join the opposition. Belarusian women are leading the charge against Lukashenko. Masha is what they affectionately call the opposition figurehead, Maria Kolesnikova. She resisted forced deportation by tearing up her passport and was then detained by authorities. Belarusian opposition leaders are now either behind bars or in exile. Alla tells us that Lukashenko has been clinging to power with all his might ever since the rigged election.
When I voted for Svetlana Tsikhanovskaya, I was sure that everything would stay the same, that nothing would change. Then, after the election, I heard people on the streets shouting, "Long live Belarus." That made me think we would win. Lukashenko has deeply offended Belarusian women with his sexism. We've always had equal rights here.
More and more Belarusians are openly defying Lukashenko and his regime. To them, he's a fraud.
We were so humiliated by that whole thing with the secret inauguration. They don't seem to feel they need to prove anything to the people anymore.
Our president is a sexist. We want to show him how strong we are.
We want to show Maria Kolesnikova our respect for having been arrested.
Lukashenko is now taking the threat these women pose more seriously. Arrests were meant to be a deterrent, but they're having the opposite effect. Alla and Sofia tell us that they'll be out on the streets of Minsk flying the flag of the opposition as long as their legs will carry them, even if it's just the two of them.